I'm Charlie Wright of Gold Derby, and today I am speaking with Josh Cooley, the director of Transformers One, as part of our Meet the Experts film animation panel. The first thing I got to ask you is, Transformers is such a well-established property and means a lot for so many people. And I'm curious, did you have a fondness for the original Transformers cartoons?
I did. I grew up in the 80s and I loved Saturday morning so much. I think it's the combination of not going to school and eating cereal and then watching cartoons. And I watched the original Transformers and G.I. Joe, all that fun stuff. So I grew up on that.
I'm curious. Did you also were you like me, and did you know that your Saturday morning cartoons were over when Soul Train came on?
I don't remember Soul Train. I don't remember Soul Train coming
That's
in.
just the one I remember.
I would remember that, I think.
Um, what made you want to dive into the origins of Megatron and Optimus Prime, and how did you end up settling on what their origin story would be?
Well, the when I got the script, I saw that it was this idea of going from friends and basically brothers to enemies, and I loved the idea of seeing that on screen. It was something we'd never seen. There's been like 9 Transformers films, and that's never been talked about. And that is part of the original lore of Transformers, which is it's like a very vast, like Tolkien length, of lore for Transformers. So I loved the idea of doing that because it meant that if we get them on the same page at the beginning and the audience really likes them as friends and brothers at the beginning, then by the end of the film, it'd actually be really tragic when it falls apart. And so I thought that's super emotional, and I would love to put real human emotion into these characters.
So I think one of the other things I think is so striking about this is the world, the way that the world of Autobots, I guess, is the right term for that. I can never.
Cybertron. Yeah, the world of Cybertron.
Yeah, all of the way that whole world looks is just absolutely incredible, and I'm wondering what went into creating the design for the world that the Transformers live in.
Yeah, so the whole movie being on their planet, which is made of metal, that right away was really intriguing. I thought that that could be something that not only would animation take advantage of, but also just CG. We could do reflections extremely well, and so that would be really cool. But I didn't want it to look just like a big silver ball in the sky, but or gray. So my production designer Jason Shire and he collected a bunch of metals on that we have here on Earth, and just to see what they actually look like, and they're extremely colorful and reflective and beautiful. And so we thought, like, can we make a planet out of metal that looks beautiful? Because if story wise, this planet is not dying yet. Everything's going pretty great, and so and that's what's at stake for these characters, their home world. And so that was the goal. I want to make a metal planet that transforms on its own and is just stunning color wise and lighting. And I'm really happy with what we turned out with.
I think one of the other things that is so great about this is the level of talent that you have in the voice acting
Mm.
for this film. And I was curious, what was the casting process like that led you to determine that Chris Hemsworth and Brian Tyree Henry were the right people to voice Optimus Prime and Megatron, respectively?
Yeah, that was the thing that kind of made me freak me out at first on this project, was how do we cast Optimus and Megatron, because we're doing a younger version of them, and knowing that they're basically kind of different characters. Orion Pax and D-16 are their names before they come Optimus and Megatron. That helped me think about how to approach this. And so I didn't want to stray away from that. I still wanted to honor where, that they're eventually going that direction. And Chris, his just the depth of his voice, he has a natural, really deep voice, which felt correct. And then on top of that, he has just natural charm that comes through his acting, through his everything. And I like that a lot for Orion Pax, just to have this a little bit more carefree, not as refined yet, and he's not a leader yet, so he has a lot to learn. And Chris totally got that, and I thought nailed it. And with D-16, same kind of thing. I needed the audience to fall in love with these two characters as friends. And that meant not having somebody who's acting like a villain right away. He needs to be a friendly guy. Same kind of thing, has oodles of charm as well. So, and Brian, I knew that he could do that arc. I knew that he could go from super likable to somebody who's a villainous, but at the same time, we understand why they are the way they are acting. And so I worked with both of them just on those two arcs, and I still can't believe the cast we got for this film. Every single one of the actors is just phenomenal.
I will say what was very funny when I saw the movie, and when I first heard Optimus speak. I thought it was John Hamm, honestly. I was like, that sounds like John Hamm. And then a bit later, I'm like, no, that's John Hamm.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, John brought so much to Sentinel. Just that type of character. No spoilers, but like you get him right away, and but he's so entertaining throughout the entire film. Every single line, I just get excited every time I see Sentinel come on screen.
No question about that. I know that this film, that you did a lot of work on this film at ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, and I know that for a lot of people in the industry, that location has a very deep meaning
Mhm.
for a lot of people. And I was wondering, what was it like for you, and what did it mean to work on this film at ILM?
Yeah, I mean, Star Wars was a massive influence on me growing up, and even on this film. There's a lot of, just in terms of scale and being a sci-fi film. Um, I've always loved ILM. I've been obsessed with it, from Star Wars, but also just like the making of books I had as a kid. And so it was a real treat to work with them, work alongside them. They are so talented, obviously, but also they are all storytellers, and they grew up with Transformers as well. So there was there was so much love put into the film, just on every single level of it. And we even had animators that were almost fighting each other for shots, because they were like, I grew up with Starscream and he's my favorite character, so I need to do this shot. And so it was so much fun. It really felt like we were playing. It just felt like, it didn't feel like work, it felt like play. And I think that comes across when you watch the film, because it's just, there's so much, just joy. I don't even know how else to put it. We just had so much fun making it.
We are an awards site, and you have had quite an interesting experience with awards. You are an Oscar winner for Toy Story 4,
Mhm.
which must have been a crazy time, because within 2 months after that happened, the world shut down.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, what was that experience like for you? What was that like for you?
It was amazing. You know, just to be on the nominated, you get to do so much and meet so many people, and just other people within the industry that you admire, and or you've never met before. So I've made a lot of friends just through that process of being on the awards circuit, which is just really cool. And then it was fortunate enough to be nominated and fortunate enough to win, and it was a shock. I did not. It was not like, oh, well, this is a shoe in. It's like I was really shocked. And I remember, when they said the name, and I went to stand up, and I immediately stuck my hands in my pockets, because I thought my pants were falling down, because it just, everything went numb. And so, you get up on stage and you're saying thank you, but you're looking like right at, Tom Hanks. I'm like, oh, I recognize him. In my brain, I'm thinking this. But then there's De Niro, and like, it was an amazing, it's so surreal. And then there's definitely a, kind of this whole like gauntlet afterwards, once you go backstage, that you go through, and they're kind of whisking you around. Everybody's going, congratulations, and you're holding this thing that's like 1,000,000 pounds, and you're like, thank you. And then all of a sudden, like, Brad Pitt's in front of you, and he's like, he had just won right before us, and so he's like, congratulations, man. Like, we're like, clinking Oscars. It's like, what is going on right now? So it was super surreal, but an
Well,
honor.
Josh, thank you so much for joining us. We wish you all the best, and we look forward to seeing you on our roundtable in just a little bit.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.